I'm going to go to this New York Post article where two of these people who were interviewing this children's book author who wrote about the grief that she and her child had after her husband died, went on this show to talk about the book, and it turns out she actually has now been charged with his murder.
Yeah.
Ms Legalista here, aka Attorney Shelia. We're going to be taking a look at that warrant. But let me first pop over to this New York Post article where, as you can see there, it says a TV host felt duped. Different kind of scam. Very different from what I'm used to talking about. But it just goes to show you that scams come in all shapes and sizes. Comes looking like someone who's saying that their husband recently passed and we don't know what happened, or I don't know. I'm not sure how she shared it, so I shouldn't go down that road. But I will say that she went on this show to talk about this book and the grief. Like, I don't know how you do that when you were the one who has now been charged with this. All right, let's take a look at this.
Sitting down with her, we both, I think, felt the same. She was a little bit cold. She wasn't super emotional. But again, we're trying to show our guests in the best light. We're trying to be on their side.
So yeah, let me stop there. You know, I can't imagine if you're the one who has done this interview with her, and it says here they felt duped and sickened that she spoke to them about her new children's book after her alleged crime. The name of the book, of course, was Are You With Me? And it looks like there may at one time have been an Amazon author page for her, but I don't see that up there anymore. But let me go back to this next comment here. It says, I definitely feel like we were duped in a sense. Chin told Fox News about Richins plugging her book, which was described on Amazon as a must-read for any child who has experienced the pain of loss and for parents who want to provide their children with the emotional support they need to heal and grow. Well, I don't see that on Amazon anymore. I've gone to look for it to see if it is still for sale. It does not appear that it's still for sale, but let's go ahead and take a look at this warrant. Let's pull that up so that we can see the charges against her. All right, let's see. In the 3rd District Court, let me get myself situated. I probably should even have myself a drink. This is 4 pages, so it's not going to be that long. State of Utah plaintiff, Kouri Richins, date of birth, April 20, 1990. It says here, the undersigned prosecutor states on information and belief that the defendant either directly or as a party committed the crimes of. So we have a criminal homicide, aggravated murder in violation of Utah Code, a first-degree felony. All right, let's hear the details of what happened here. That on or about March 3rd, 2022 in Summit County, state of Utah, the defendant, A, did intentionally or knowingly cause the death of another individual under any of the following circumstances. And the one that they have listed here is the actor committed homicide by means of the administration of a poison or of any lethal substance or of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Furthermore, the defendant was a cohabitant with the victim. They were still together there at the time. You know, there's been a lot going on with this case. I'm going to have to do several more videos just to bring you up to speed on all of it. Number 2, possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute in violation of Utah Code. This is a 2nd-degree felony. It says that on or about January 2022 in Summit County, state of Utah, the defendant did knowingly and intentionally possess with intent to distribute a controlled or counterfeit substance that was A, classified in Schedule 1 or 2, B, a controlled substance analog, or C, gamma hydroxybutyric acid as listed in Schedule 3. And so that's GHB, if you guys are familiar with that. I don't know. I might get in trouble with Utah for saying that. I might have to beep that out. 3, possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. Second-degree felony also. That on or about February 11, 2022 in Summit County, state of Utah, the defendant did knowingly and intentionally possess with intent to distribute a controlled or counterfeit substance. Classified Schedule 1 or 2, a controlled substance analog, or, as you saw, just as I said before, in Schedule 3. And then we also have possession of controlled substance with intent to distribute. So we now have 2, 3, and 4 listed there. So 3 counts of that. All right, let's go through what this says here. On March 4th, 2022, at 3:22 hours, Summit County Sheriff's deputies and EMS staff responded to a residence located at 282 Willow Court in Summit County on the report of an unresponsive male. When they arrived, they found Eric Richins, on the floor at the foot of his bed. Life-saving measures were attempted, but Eric was declared deceased. During interviews with the deceased's wife, the defendant, Kouri Richins, I'm having such a hard time saying that, the defendant, she stated that at around 2100 hours, the preceding evening, because that's March 3rd, 2022, she and Eric were celebrating the defendant's closing on a house for her business. Now, this is where all of these other different videos are going to come up, because there is a lot going on around this house. Okay, so we're going to do a separate video on that. Whether or not they were celebrating and who wanted the house and who didn't, there may be some questions about that. But she said that she and Eric were celebrating the defendant's closing on a house for her business. Defendant stated that she made Eric a Moscow Mule. I'm going to have a video on that too, because I've had a Moscow Mule and I like Moscow Mules. In the kitchen, and brought it to their bedroom where Eric consumed it while sitting in bed. The only people in the house were defendant, Eric, and their children. Defendant stated that she went to bed and shortly after went to sleep with one of the children in the child's bedroom because the child was having a night terror. Defendant said she woke around 3 o'clock hours, 3 a.m., and came back to her in Eric's bedroom. She felt Eric and he was cold to the touch. That is when defendant called 911. Defendant told law enforcement that when she left her room to go to her child's room, she left her phone plugged in next to her bed and did not take it to her child's room. However, between when defendant said she went to child's room and when she called 911, the status on her phone shows that it was locked and unlocked multiple times. And there was also movement recorded on the phone. You guys, let me just say this. You cannot beat this technology that they have now. You cannot beat it. I have had conversations, it is pouring outside. I have had conversations before with law enforcement, and they will just tell you, you will try to think of all of the things that you can account for and plan for when you're trying to prepare to do these things that you think you're going to get away with, and you just cannot cover all your bases. And so the moment you start lying, they can pick up the phone and figure out what's been going on. All of this data that's being collected by these phones, they will get you every single time. And you think you're pulling the wool over someone's eyes, and you are not. That information is being kept. It is there. They will download it and use it against you. So they're going to catch you in this. So yeah, they said the status on her phone shows that it was locked and unlocked multiple times, and there was also movement recorded on the phone. In addition, tolls on defendant's phone show that messages were sent and received during that time. These messages were deleted. Again, do you think that they cannot check this? Do you think that they're not going to be able to get a search warrant and go through and download things and figure things out and have forensics done on your cell phone and be able to pull all this information out. So you may have scammed those producers for their show, but it's doubtful that your scam is going to go far if you have evidence on your cell phone. That, yeah, you're not going to be able to hide that. Yeah, not going to happen. All right, the only way you get around it is if a judge decided that it were inadmissible. So for instance, maybe there was an issue with the search warrant or maybe you didn't have one. Maybe there just were issues around search and seizure. And so now you're using your Fourth Amendment there. But yes, she said it was in another room locked. And apparently that's not what the cell phone is telling on her. You remember how you had little kids and they go tell on you, your friends would tell on you, your siblings would tell on you, I'm going to go tell. Well, this is a cell phone that's a tattletale. It's telling everything. So she's getting away with nothing here if this gets admitted. These messages were deleted. Following an autopsy, more information. And pursuant to toxicology findings from the autopsy, it was determined that Eric died of an overdose of fentanyl. The medical examiner, OME, indicated that the level in Eric's system was approximately 5 times the lethal dosage. The OME stated that the amount in his system was illicit and not medical grade. Okay, so we know that that's an issue. It is also the opinion of the OME after evaluating Eric's gastric fluid contents that it was in his body and it was ingested orally. They can find all of these things out. Okay, let's keep going through this warrant. And these are all allegations. Let's just be clear. These are all allegations. I don't want to make it sound like I know everything because that is certainly not true. We're just going through this warrant here. After receiving the information regarding the toxicology, a search warrant was obtained for Eric and the defendant's residence. During the service of that search warrant, defendant's phone and several computers were seized as evidence. Warrants were obtained for all the electronic devices and the information from those devices was downloaded. When investigators downloaded defendant's phone, several communications between defendant and CL were located. Oh, well, we have this new person now, CL. You guys knew we were going this way, right? Like we already knew. We hate it. We really do. This is really awful for the children. CL was identified as an acquaintance of defendant. A police records check of CL revealed multiple counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. On May 2nd, 2023, Summit County detectives interviewed CL. Okay, May 2nd. CL told detectives that sometime between December 2021 and February 2022, the defendant contacted CL via text message and asked if CL could get defendant some, and you see here, prescription pain medicine, for an investor who has a back injury. Within a few days, CL procured, as you see some pills here from a dealer. Defendant told CL to leave the pills at a house defendant was flipping in Midway. CL left the pills at the house and defendant left cash for CL. It has been determined that this house was owned by defendant in December 2021 and January 2022. About 2 weeks later, defendant contacted CL again and said that her investor wanted something stronger and asked for some of the Michael Jackson stuff. The defendant asked specifically, you see here, specifically, let me highlight that. Oh, we'll see. I think it's going to do my orange again. There we go. That's what the defendant asked specifically for. CL contacted someone in Ogden, February 11, 2022, and procured. Look at how many they got. Look at how many they got. 15 to 30. Defendant came to CL's home, delivered the pills, and picked up some money. Picked up some money. 3 days later, Eric and defendant, this is Valentine's Day, had a Valentine's Day dinner. So you're having a Valentine's Day dinner when you're planning something with these pills. Shortly after the dinner, Eric became very ill. Eric believed that he had been poisoned. Eric told a friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him. This is so sad. You do that on Valentine's Day. I do not understand. About 2 weeks later, the defendant contacted CL again, asking for another $900 of these. We want another. She's asking for more. She couldn't get it done on Valentine's Day. This is absolutely horrible. CL contacted this person again on February 26th, got what he needed, told him where to leave them. This time we're going to leave them outdoor fire pit at the Midway house again, and the cash was there. And then 6 days later, there you go. That sums it up. 6 days later. This information is based on the evidence obtained from the following witnesses, and this is a deputy here presented to, and then there you have the chief prosecutor. So that's that. Now we have all of the details in this case, and we see here that she didn't just try once. It looks like it took her a couple of times. We now know who she was paying in order to even get it, that there's this person out there, possibly with the initial CL. And Valentine's Day. Okay, so that's the warrant. That brings us up to speed on the warrant. I'm going to continue breaking this case down. Like I said, started with a different kind of scam here. The fact that she went on TV to talk about this book and to talk about grief is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Again, an entirely different scam. But if you're up to speed, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.